you don't really want to like smack that hornet's nest, I guess you could say, because you might have a nice strong list and then you're one bad decision away from 1 month of content, 4 emails, and now you have a quarter of those emails because they don't want to be part of that.
Welcome to the Big Brand Theory Podcast by Blackwood Creative.
So, Joe, have you signed up for my newsletter yet?
I don't sign up for any newsletters.
What?
No. Too many companies kind of adapted too hard to the 2008, 2010 social media, and
You're being very generous.
Yeah, but I mean, they really stuck to that, and they think that people read them, but a lot of times it's open and close, right? And like, I guarantee if you like put a joke of a thing at the bottom of it and it's like, did you actually read this? Click yes. And it like, how many people would actively click on that? Like reality. Like, I just think a newsletter is pretty much dead because it's just, I'm here, like that's great and all, but the value is where you get me to sign up.
Yep. So let's define a newsletter. Newsletter from a company, right? Well, I think there's this little tiny segment of where a newsletter is valuable, right? And that's in, let's call it nonprofit association world-ish. Like, it's a segment of that segment where it's like, okay, this is valuable. Like, say you're donating to a nonprofit, and they send you a monthly report saying, here's what we're doing. Here's a recap of activities, and we had this kids camp, and we did this thing over here, and you're like, great, I got this. I kind of know what's going on. I got the gist of it, but that's almost like dead because you're probably following them on social and they're posting live updates of that. So then you're like, well, yeah, I already saw all this stuff. I don't need to read it.
That's kind of the answer, is instead of focusing on a newsletter, a culmination of all that, use that as content and disseminate that over social media and develop a following, not an email list.
Yeah, I think one of the things where people, they miss out on this idea, like, oh, I'm going to send out this newsletter. I got to disseminate this information to people. And they forget the fact that, like, you can do the same thing through your website in the form of blog posts or through social media and the value that comes from that is not only are the people consuming this, but they're also driving traffic to your website, which is boosting your ranking. They're also going to your social, which is boosting your engagement. Like, there's like other auxiliary benefits from doing it through this channel versus emailing a PDF, or, for crying out loud, I own a print shop and we print this stuff for people. Printing it out and mailing it. Like, great. Hope the post office doesn't lose it or send it too late, and now the event that you printed in there is over by the time they got it.
It's astounding to me of like, and I get that it might seem hoity-toity of like me to say that, but it's 2022, man. Like,
let's go.
Like come on, dude. Like, you gotta like drop the fax machine. Like,
yeah.
If you use a fax machine today instead of sending an email or something, like, just close your doors. Like, it's more of a headache than a help at this point, in my opinion. But I think about it like a newsletter is exactly that. Like, you have all this bit of information that you should be disseminating in real time, and you're like almost like, no, I gotta keep this for my email list, and it's like all 40 people versus 40,000 people you could reach if you just put it on social media. But, and all things considered of that, if you have a great email list and you have been keeping people there, let's improve that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there is a ton of value in an email list. I think that everyone should be gathering emails and leads that way, no matter what your objective is, whether you're trying to get donors, whether you're trying to get customers, you're trying to just get subscribers so that they'll read your stuff so you can sell ads. Whatever your objective is, you should be trying to build an email list. The problem is when I go to your website and it says sign up for my newsletter, no, I do not want your newsletter. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what it's in it for me. I don't see any value. No, is a hard pass. But there's the goal, I think, that a lot of people are trying to do is that like, I want to gather emails so then I can give out information so that then they will come and use my services, donate to me, buy my product, whatever it is. And so if we know that's the overall goal, we can say, hey, newsletter's dead, put that aside, right? What can we do with similar type things to build your email list so that then you can give out information, engage with your potential donor, client, customer, whatever, and do that in a way that they will find valuable. They'll find value in it, and then they'll say, turn around and return the value in one way or another. So I think it goes back to how are we going to get that email list? How are we going to get people on it? And then the trick, how do we keep them on it? How do we reduce the number of unsubscribes? Because guarantee if you're sending out a newsletter once a month, that's just this massive list of whatever the heck is going on. Like it's, I'm not interested, unsubscribe.
Right.
So
it's, you got to get to a point where you're giving value so much that you're asking less. And that's just in a nutshell of business today almost. Like if you have an email list and you're not, like say, I'll just do e-commerce, okay? E-commerce, if your email list, say you, at the beginning of your website, dropped in, it's like, hey, you want 10% off your first order? Sign up today. Okay, cool. See that all the time. That's great. But the emails afterwards should not be just like punching me in the face of the same.
Yep.
It should not be that.
Yep.
What you should be looking at is like, oh, these people signed up and these are my people. So like, I'm going to give them like, hey, by the way, the next 24 hours, this product line that we're about to launch, you get day one access. And you get, orders over $100 get 10% off. Just for the email subscribers. Yeah. Like you give them a specific code or whatever.
Yeah. There's when we talk about the lead magnet piece of it, right? Because the goal is to generate leads and get emails to add to my list, so then I can turn around and use them as a lead to sell on that. But when we look at that lead magnet, e-commerce often does it fairly well. It is like our print shop. If you go to our website, a little pop-up in the corner says, get $10 off your next print order. Type in your email here. We get a ton of leads from that because people are like, $10 off. Like, oh, that's like a $10 bill. I'm just leaving it on the table. Of course I'll do, like, giving my email is worth $10 because if they send me an email that I don't like, I can just unsubscribe. It's not that hard, right? That's $10. Boom, I win in that scenario. We win because a lot of times they don't unsubscribe because we have a good cadence of how often we send emails. The emails we do send are very valuable. And so they stick around. And then when we do send out an email, they're saying, hey, this is valuable to me. Like, thank you. I didn't realize you guys could do that or whatever it is. But that lead magnet cannot say, like, sign up for my newsletter because I'm not going to do it.
Well,
but giving value right then and there is what's going to attract kind of that initial jump into the funnel.
Right. And that initial funnel can't be the only starting point. I cannot stress that enough. It bothers me when that's the only thing. It's like, oh, on my website, I pop this up. That's how I gain all my emails and I give them 10% off. It's like, cool, but you got to continue with the value. If you don't continue with valuable things, regardless of what it is, like you said, with e-commerce, it's kind of easier because you can just be like, get 10% off or whatever. So how do you do that for a conservatory, for a place that is literally of plants and an indoor thing? Like we have one local here. How do you disseminate information that is valuable through email, through an email list that people have signed up on your website, and you're probably a nonprofit essentially at that point. It's just grants and whatever. But how do you disseminate information through email that's valuable, that's going to keep people signed on that list?
Right. That's pretty important. You got to know your customer. What are they interested in?
Clearly plants.
Right. So and then like how do they fit into like your mission as an organization? So if they're coming to your website, they're coming for one reason or another, say they're going to come visit or something like that, and they want to find out different information. You pop up and say like, hey, if you sign up here, you're going to get X, Y, and Z. But that's the biggest thing right there. For me to sign up, I want to know what's in it for me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to like even get the latest news and info from us. Don't care. Get special deals. Oh, now you're starting to like, now I'm a little intrigued. Get something instantly valuable to you, like free admission on your next trip here. Okay, I'll do that. So the more value you can add in that initial thing, the more people are going to sign up. But then again, after that, like you're saying, now we've got their email. Now what? Now we have to provide value to keep them. And if we turn around and instantly spam them with daily emails of whatever it is,
that's such a quick way to unsubscribe.
No, either that or it's just gonna...
Even weekly can be way too much. Like, you really do have to figure out your cadence to where you're in their inbox enough to where it's valuable and you're not annoying them.
Yeah. So
like that line is different for every single business.
And you got to be careful because one of the things that we've found with specifically with the print shop is maybe we don't send it enough. Mm-hmm. And then people forget that they even signed up, right? So if we only send it like once every 6 months, people are like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, I didn't even know I was signed up for this.
And then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I ordered those business cards from them. That was 6 months ago. I got the $10 off. Yeah, okay.
And then you flip that and you're like, well, okay, well, let's turn the heat up and we'll email them weekly. Huh. You're going to see your subscribers drop way down real fast because you need to make changes to your email list and dissemination of information pretty lightly. Like, you don't really want to like smack that hornet's nest, I guess you could say, because you might have a nice strong list and then you're one bad decision away from 1 month of content, 4 emails, and now you have a quarter of those emails because they don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
So you really do have to just understand your community and the reason why they signed up, but also you have to continually give them value. And like what that looks like for your business, you got to find that out of what your customers come to you for.
Yeah, and I think when you go to write that email, just ask yourself, if I got this email from a company that I occasionally use for whatever service or organization or something, would I care? I think if you really put yourself in your customer's shoes and think, because you know your business, you care about your business, right? But if you're the business across the street from you, if they sent you an email similar to the one you're about to send out, would you unsubscribe? Would you delete it? And if you're like, maybe, like start over.
Yep.
Just really get it simple. What value am I sending? How can I quickly give them information? We don't have time to read your dissertation. Simple.
Dude, one paragraph.
Let's keep it simple. Let's provide a bunch of value as much as we can. If you have a ton of information to share, say, hey, we just wrote this article on our website about X, Y, and Z. Here's a link to it. Oh, by the way, here's 3 coupons for whatever.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden I'm like, I am interested in that article, but I don't have time to read it now. But that coupon is super valuable because I have run out of water bottles. I'm going to go ahead and use that.
You know who's like super good at email marketing? Sometimes it's towing that line of too much, but dude, Domino's Pizza.
Really?
Domino's, they have it set on their email list at like 4:05 to send out an email.
Yeah.
And at the
Perfect timing.
tagline, it's like, "What's for dinner? Pizza. You don't want to cook." I'm
Right.
like,
You're like, oh, you're right. I don't.
Genius. And then on top of that, it's like, "Oh, by the way, we have a special this week. This is this thing, and it's only $19.99,
Right.
and it's like going to feed a family of 6."
Yeah.
So you're just like,
All right,
"Of course I want
buy
that."
now. Yeah.
Like, why not?
They've removed all the barriers. They've brought in value in because like hey, here's a special that's giving you time. Now you don't have to cook dinner, and the timing is perfect.
Yep. On a Friday.
I'm checking my
before-
emails before the end of the day, and I checked. Oh, Domino's. Actually, honey, let's go ahead and order pizza tonight. Like, yes,
They've hacked
they
it.
checked
Like,
all the boxes.
They figured it out, and that right there. That's the pinnacle of email marketing to me. And I think about that, and I'm like, that is the goal for every single business. Whatever they're doing, however they figured that out. And I get it, like when you look at it in layman's terms, it's like, okay, that it's pizza and it's Friday, like duh. But there is definitely a duh moment for your business of like, what does my client want?
Right.
Oh, I'm a mechanic and they want, it's like about to be winter and it's like, I'm going to take $35 off your next tire rotation or changing out, to snow tires.
Yep.
Like, duh, that's
Yeah.
a perfect opportunity.
Right, especially when you get into home services businesses, all of that type of stuff. We don't know how, we're not all mechanics. We're not all HVAC people. I don't know how, I don't know what I need to do with my pool equipment, like all this stuff. Like, I can't be an expert in all of this, but that's why I go to these businesses to have them help me, right? And so if I get an email from my pool company that says, hey, it's April, it's been a weird cold thing. Hey, you might want to do X, Y, and Z, whatever. Like, there's different ways HVAC company, now mine does this, like they'll send out an email that says, hey, like summer's coming, go make sure that there's no nests in your, in your air conditioner condenser thing outside, like here's some tips. That stuff, like I will open that and be like, oh great, because an air conditioner is freaking expensive.
Dude.
And I will utilize the information they're sending me to make sure that I save some money and don't blow up my AC unit. All of this stuff is very, very simple. It's just, I need to provide value every single step of the way, from the initial lead magnet, make it a strong magnet, because a newsletter is the weakest magnet of all. Actually, sometimes it's like having, the same type and it like repels. But making a strong lead magnet and then getting them into your list and figuring out the cadence. And that's going to take some work. You sent too many. I saw some unsubscribes, too many unsubscribes.
You're also gonna, no matter what you do, how perfect it can be, if you time it right, whatever, there's gonna be people that signed up for that special thing and then they're just like, I'm out, like regardless. Like, I just wanted that one thing.
Don't care.
You're gonna have that. And it's worse if you didn't have value, and then you have an entire email list of that. That's where you run that problem, because you might have an email list of 5,000 people that you think you have a list of 5,000 people until you ask one thing of them and they're like, I'm out. I don't really want this. And now you have an email list of 2,000 people.